Hello everyone. Let's see, day 41 via the videos, and the weather got cooler yesterday, colder actually I could say, yesterday, but the sun was still shining and wasn't too bad. The wind had finally died down, but I knew that there was some potential for rain coming in today, and so I started out walking. And gosh, a guy named Steve Hutchinson came by, and what an absolute blessing, Steve, you have been in my life. We had great conversation, great fellowship, and he ended up giving me a lift because the moment I got in, it started to rain, and the temperature is not even going to get out of the 50s today, and just an absolute downpour. It's let up here a little bit now. Let me see if I can't show you a little bit of what's going on out there. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it's been just absolutely miserable out there today. Very cold, very damp, very rainy, and like I say, this is let up from what it was just a little while ago. So Steve came by at absolutely the best time he could have come by. And as it turns out, between where I was and where I am, there was absolutely nothing. So it would have been a long, miserable, cold, wet, damp walk. So I just thank the Lord for providing Steve to come by and help me out there. And Steve also ends up paying for my hotel room. So I just want to say thank you again, Steve. You're an absolute blessing, more than you know. And we're going to pray that you find a place to put that RV, which you have to move now. So we're believing that God's going to provide that for you. And I just want to thank you again. So we're getting real close. Again, the goal is to try to get to Washington this weekend. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to accomplish that. Looks like the weather may be changing a little bit. They were talking about 3 days of rain, but it looks like it's changing a little bit now that I've caught the weather again. And maybe today's going to be the worst of it, and things are going to warm up just a little bit too, so that'll be good. So be able to keep pushing on. Couple of things, something I wanted to mention from before. As I've said before in the videos, and I've said online and some of the blogs and stuff I've written, I think Americans know in their heart, most Americans, not all Americans, but all the freedom-loving Americans know something's very wrong. Something is very wrong going on in this country. There is an insidious movement that seems to be taking place, and it's evident more and more and more and more. I want you to think about this bombing attempt that was in Times Square, to bring that up, and the reaction of the people, the mainstream media, the government, and in particular Mayor Bloomberg. I'm telling you, Mayor Bloomberg needs to be run out of town on a rail for treason. These people are there to defend and protect the American people. And the first thing that comes out of his mouth, in light of the Twin Tower bombing, in light of 9/11, this traitor, first thing out of his mouth says that it's probably some Tea Party member who is upset about Obamacare. And then when it comes out that it is an Islamic terrorist with ties and funding out of Pakistan, the first thing out of his mouth is, well, we're not going to tolerate any ill will towards the Islams or the Muslims here in this city. Why is it that, and the same thing with Arizona, and the immediate knee-jerk is to defend those who are either breaking the law or trying to kill us, and vilifying everybody else who's in opposition to it. At what point do we wake up in this country and say, that's just wrong? What are we thinking about? It's totally upside down, totally backwards, and insidiously wrong. There is a movement going on in this country. There is a takeover. There is a coup going on in this country, and Americans are just still not willing and ready to step up to the plate and do something about it. It just absolutely, it just baffles me when I see what's going on, and still there are people out there that either don't get it or refuse to really do anything about it. And You know, when we look at Greece and what's going on with Greece, the failure of Greece is the failure of socialism. The failure of Greece is that we've got all these unionized workers working for the government that have been promised the extravagant pensions, promised this, promised that, and the government doesn't have the money to pay for it. They've got the people taxed to death, and just like Margaret Thatcher says, the problem with socialism is you always run out of other people's money. And that's exactly what's happening with Greece. So what does America do? America jumps in and to the biggest percentage goes ahead and bails them out. And we're headed down the same road. We're broke. We don't have the money to bail them out. And in fact, we've got cities in this country that are in worse shape than Greece. And yet we still have people who are out there working good jobs, thinking that the government owes them even more. The government owes us free health care. The government owes us cheap education loans. You just keep sticking your greedy little hands out there, and it's absolutely bankrupting nations. What are you thinking? My God, it just makes me so angry when I realize the stupidity of people in America buying the garbage that this socialist, Marxist, communist regime is putting upon America. And the rest of us just seem to want to be willing to sit by and let it happen. We'll vote them out in November. That's the best we can do. I'll pull the lever. Doggone it, I'm going to make my vote count. Folks, we're at war. I keep saying it over and over and over. This is not politics. We are at war. This is a coup of American freedom and liberty. It's a huge leap towards one world governance, one world finance, one world energy. And when you stop and think about it, you know, again, when you look at the actions of our government and you realize they're more willing to jump in and protect those people who are illegally here or who are trying to absolutely kill us. Even now, the traitor in the White House refuses to call them Islamic Muslim terrorists. It's always them. It's always they. They're always downplaying the evil that's coming against us and vilifying those that look like me who are standing up and saying, we're not going to let you do this. Somebody, at some point, people got to wake up and realize that this is way beyond politics. We are way past politics. And this government and these people want us to continue to play the game of politics because they win every day that goes by. More legislation, more laws. Now it's net neutrality again is up. They're going to come after our freedoms with net neutrality. And Obama's now saying, well, I don't even know how to run an iPod. And yet here's a guy that more than any other president in the world used the internet and technology to help him get elected. And when you look at his past statements, you realize that the BlackBerry is almost his God. He uses the BlackBerry religiously. He's a liar. And yet people out there still buying it. It frightens me to death to think that Americans have gotten so stupid that they're buying the crap that's being laid upon us. You just can't be any dumber if you try it. I'm sorry, but I'm tired. I bumped into a progressive socialist on the road the other day, and I came around the back of the car and realized the Obama sticker and all the stickers on there, and I thought, well, this is going to be interesting. So she started giving me all her ideological thoughts, and I was coming back with facts and figures, and she said, well, it looks like we're not going to agree. And I looked at her and I said, let me tell you something. I've just walked over 600 miles. I'm not here to negotiate with you people anymore. I'm not listening. I'm not going to discuss things with you anymore. I'm here to defeat you. I'm here to defeat your agenda. That's what I'm here for. And America, we better start getting that attitude. So, I mean, it's either that, it's like I've said, we're either going to stand up or we're going to stand in line because that's where we're headed. Total government control. Government run everything. So again, as I said yesterday in the video, when I get there, we're going to pull a Jericho on them. We're going to evoke the Lord, and we're going to be singing praises to America and God as we march around the White House once a day for 6 days, and on the 7th day 7 times around, singing God Bless America and other patriotic and songs that give God the glory. I hope to see you there. I'm almost out of time. I'll talk to you soon. God bless.